Hello dudes, we're back with eFootball 2025 and we're gonna be doing the part 2 on the how to build a team from zero, and now we're gonna talk about the SUBTACTIC. Probably I'm gonna be talking about the SUBTACTIC and something else. Oh, probably abilities, yes, because SUBTACTIC is not gonna take more than, I don't know, half an hour, maybe less. In the previous video, we talked about the general formation, the strategy, a proper order to simplify substitutions during the match. We talk about the dominancy, the leg dominancy of players in relation to the position on the field. And we talk about the roles, we talk about the personal instructions. Now we're gonna go to the SUBTACTIC. Well, SUBTACTIC, this is SUBTACTIC. You go to tactics, SUBTACTIC, and you can do stuff like that. You switch the position of the players. You use a different strategy, basically. I was explaining my strategy 4-1-3-2, and now switches to 4-2-1-3. And I also changed the game style. It's gonna be out wide, and it was possession game. So I didn't talk about the possession game, but that's just the way you kind of like to play. I think it's more or less self-explanatory, but it is supposed for let's go to the this is team play style. It is supposed for quick counter to leave you a little bit more exposed with the defense, because they kind of go forward, they wait too forward on the field. They leave like too much space to the back. They say possession game is kind of the same, but not that much. And it is supposed for, you see, check this out. Possession game, your defenders, the white dots, are right in the middle of the proper side of the field, like our side of the field. Let's call it our side of the field. So quick counter, it's even farther to the front, but long counter finds the defenders right in front of the big area. So it is supposed to be a little bit more defensive, or at least doesn't leave you uncovered. What is the thing? I think many players like this kind of play style because they don't have such a strong midfield, and I think if you can win like the midfield and really take the fight to the midfield, then you're gonna have a better experience, because I think this game style is better for better players. And possession game is going to give you all the tools you need to, for example, learn how to avoid interceptions. And it's going to improve the pinpoint crossings, which is one of the backbones of my strategy. I have shown many times like how I cross the ball from one side to the other and look for those free spaces, just to be able to think a little bit. So then out wide, it's this thing that goes completely crazy, but there is a reason why I play out wide with the secondary, like with the SUBTACTIC. And then long ball. Long ball, it's kind of defensive too, but out wide and long ball, nobody plays with those play styles. So SUBTACTIC, what is the thing? I play with wingers. In my team, this is something I didn't explain during the previous video, but that's why these videos are so long, because some things I'm going to remember during one video, some things I'm going to remember during another video, but they are going to be more or less organic to the building of a team. Every piece of the video is going to be useful. So I'm not saying this because I want you to watch the entire video, but I'm saying it because maybe you shouldn't watch it if you are not paying attention to the whole thing, and you should watch it if you are actually very interested in every aspect of the, of the building of a team from zero. Okay, so what I was saying was that the position with this strategy 4-1-3-2, you could have these guys a little bit higher, and they will be true wingers. I use these guys as wingers, but the card is set to left midfielder and right midfielder. Well, Messi should not be a right midfielder. He should be more like a right winger. The same goes with Son, who is even center forward. But in this way, this guy, who is much more defensive and has lots of stamina, is gonna be able to attack, but also have enough strength to give me aid in defense. And these two guys, who are not good at defense at all, you see, like completely red, these guys are going to be able to attack because they are open enough to run, but they are also going to be enough to the back in order to make more difficult for the opponent's fullbacks to start a counterattack. They are going to work as some sort of stopper. So they are playing a false midfielder because I actually use them as wingers. But the position gives that a little bit more defensive setup. So that was something I didn't explain during the previous video. Now, what I did explain was leg dominancy and players with many positions. The thing with the SUBTACTIC is that, for example, you go for this change, for this switch. Why will you be desiring to do a thing like this? Well, it is, as a general rule, I noticed that many players, especially good players, they put man marking on the wingers. I think that's why a lot of players stopped using wingers, because people were applying man marking, and suddenly you have a guy completely stopping Son and another guy completely stopping Messi, and you can't do the freely, you can't pass the ball to this guy freely, and if they get the ball they are going to be crushed, or the other guy is going to preemptively go for the pass, and it's going to be very difficult to use both these players. But what happens if someone does something like that? They are going to be assigning one of the, probably almost for sure, he's going to be assigning one of the defensive players, probably one of the fullbacks or the DMF, and even maybe a guy like this. But when they do that, they trust this side, for example, is going to be covered with certain idea of the guy being able to cover this side too, more or less. But when you go to the SUBTACTIC, for example, if you put a man marking on Messi, Messi is going to do that. And now the one who's going to be getting the winger pass is going to be Sully. And the defender is going to be doing an improper kind of job, because he's going to be following Messi and at the same time getting in the position of the other defender who is occupying Messi's line, not marking Messi, but occupying Messi's line now. So think about me putting man marking with Costa Curta on the opponent's winger. So if the opponent switches places to this place, then Costa Curta is going to follow, and he's going to be occupying the same space as Saliba or Adams. And then there's going to be a hole, a complete huge hole. And if you have someone like Sally, then you're going to be able to move a little bit after getting the pass with all the defense confused, and you're probably going to be able to stick a through pass, and it's going to be goal. Yeah, it's going to be, or at least a huge opportunity. So that's why you need to have a complete SUBTACTIC build in the team, in the complete strategy of the team. Now, a thing to give a better example is I'm not supposed to be using Son like this, but I don't. It's the same problem with not wanting to switch Kimmich yet. In this team, the switch should be something like Messi's. You go to SUBTACTIC, Son should be in Kimmich's position, and Kimmich should be in Son's position. But the problem is that Kimmich doesn't have the position. He doesn't have not even a piece of the left side, so he's not able to do that. That's why my idea is to switch Kimmich for Zielinski. If I do that, I'm going to be able to do the switch, which is something that I did in some other game plan. I'm going to show you a few examples of SUBTACTIC. I have the same tactic here with possession game, but using Xavi. But when I use the SUBTACTIC, I think Kluivert is going to go to Zielinski's position, and Zielinski is going to go to the middle. Yeah, you see? This is what the real change should be. But okay, on my main team, I still don't want to switch Kimmich, so I'm waiting for the moment. It's just a matter of, stop fearing being weaker without Kimmich. But this is the real switch. So if you do that, Percy Tau is gonna be carrying the defender to the middle, and also Zielinski. And think about this switch. If you go with this switch, all the players doing man marking are going to concentrate in the middle of the field. Everything is going to be chaos, and the two sides are going to be free, completely free. As you can see, all the switches keep the maximum level for every player, because all of these players have lots of positions. For example, this guy, lots of position. This guy is the same, right? Oh, without CMF. This guy, lots of positions. This guy, he can only pull the switch I'm assigning him to. So he can go from here to the side, nothing else. And this guy, lots of positions. So it's very important for your SUBTACTICs, if you want to play SUBTACTICs the way I do it, which is very tricky, you need to have the numbers and the positions, because even if you have the positions, you cannot go, this guy can go to Zielinski's position because he has 90 speed and 89 acceleration and 84 tight possession with 172. I'm going to explain numbers later, but this is the reason. It's the same as this guy. He has 90 tight possession, speed 88, kicking power. He can also be a little bit of a defender. He has lots of balance, lots of stamina. This guy has not that much stamina, but he has lots of balance. He has some defense, he has some jumping, so he can do a lot of shit. And he's a whole player. He's a whole player, that's important. When I speak about players and positions and stats, I'm gonna explain the game style of every player. This guy is also a whole player, so very strong player to have around. This guy, also whole player. Okay, this is just coincidence. I didn't know. Oh, so I have 3 whole players playing these positions. This is very interesting. I wanna try this team. I built this thing. I changed it. I had something different, and now I'm trying this short guy who jumps a lot, like this guy 92, now Neymar 90, and I built a team around those guys, and I need to try it. So that's the why in my main team I don't do that switch, but in here it can be properly explained. So I'm using, oh wait, that tactic. I have another examples, I think. I have a very strange example, not this one. Oh, this one is interesting because it's almost the same as the other one. Oh, check this out. During this 4-2-1-3, I move Messi and Son to the winger position. So they also change game style. But this switch returns the team to my main formation. So SUBTACTIC, you see? And now I have again the midfielders, Bellingham going to the side where he can be the midfielder, and Son getting the position that Kimmich should be using. But I can do that because Van der Vaart can go to Son's position. He has also lots of positions. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is that remember that you need all the positions and you need guys with certain amount of. This guy is not ideal for the like false winger, or false midfielder, because he's gonna be playing more like a winger. But because he's a kind of slow, only 82, but he has lots of tight possession and very good acceleration. So he's gonna be running less and cutting, like dribbling more, and passing, which is the most important thing for this guy. He needs to open a little hole and then, create some sort of play. So yeah, he's not ideal, but he has the position. And of course, he has 98 kicking power with 92 curl. So if you move him a little bit to the center, he's gonna be able to take a shot, and from this position he can shoot with his good leg, with his dominant leg. Either way, he is ambidextrous, so that's again important. I told you about this, AMFs being ambidextrous. So when he switches, instead of going with the good leg, you will be able to kick with effect with the non-dominant leg, which is good because he's ambidextrous, or you will be able to just run forward and cross kick the ball with the left leg with 98 kicking power. So he's going to be a huge option. So trust this motherfucker. All right. So this goes to my main tactic, and then I have another example. I'm going to show you that example just for you to see like something a little bit more strange. This is a cookie formation I made, and when I switch, they go bananas. You see? Even Baggio now has this he has a long switch. It's very interesting. Oh, remember, I never waste. I only used like, I think, $4-5 since for the last 2 years while playing this game. All those epic players are free players, and the only one with lots and lots of luck was Baggio, because Cleaver, I got him with it was like many tries to get Clivert or Saviola or something like that. I can't remember the other guys. So yeah, it's all for free. You can do it, dude. Just have a little bit of faith. Okay. Now, the SUBTACTIC. You go to the SUBTACTIC, you have to edit the position. So you have to start moving the players. I mean, when you switch, Nunez is going to be, I think, here. But okay, well, wait. Come on. I'm gonna try to show you with a team without substitution. This one. This team has no SUBTACTIC. So when I switch, it's off, and they do that. They don't move shit. So what you have to do is turn it on, edit position, and you have to press the button and move the thing to the place you want the player to be after the switch. So let's say I don't want to do anything with like Ceballos. Well, it's kind of difficult with this formation, but let's say I want Vinicius where Ceballos is. So you go to SUBTACTIC, on, edit position, and then you will have to press the button and just drag Ceballos to this position, and then get Vinicius and drag Vinicius to this position. If you do that, they're going to be switched, and when you exit, it's going to be like this. And when you enter the SUBTACTIC, it's going to be the new position you assign. Okay, so why is that important? Okay, let's go back to my main team. All right, so Safi Salih cannot be a midfielder. So he cannot be, yeah. So when you switch to the SUBTACTIC, he's going as a second attacker to the side, because he has the, what is the name? He's poacher. This guy is a advanced striker. So he must be an advanced striker or a deep lying forward. So he is poacher, but that second green rectangle, the one below the poacher one, is something like deep lying forward or advanced striker, something like that. And but he cannot be something like this. You see, his numbers go to shit. No, he cannot be that. So when you switch to the SUBTACTIC, you have to have players that can switch to another available position. For example, Kimmich cannot be here. What the fuck is happening? What a dumb fuck. So this is going like this. Okay, so Kimmich can be here. Okay, wait. I want to show you an example of a guy not being able to switch. Okay, for example, this is easier. Let's say the SUBTACTIC has... Oh no, I can't do that either. Now I'm gonna go to my... Okay, wait, I need another players. I need some other players, man. This guy, when we switch tactic, he goes there, but that position is right winger. What about this? Okay, there you go. So this guy has not the second green rectangle, so he cannot be like that thing, advanced striker or deep line forward or whatever. He's a winger, and he's also a center forward, because I gave him 2 times center forward. If without those, he will be just a winger. So if you assign a second, well, it's second striker position to this position, he's gonna be fine there as a poacher, but with the SUBTACTIC, he won't be able to keep his level, his performance, because he cannot be a second striker. Of course, in this case, I gave him the right winger. But in this game plan, my main game plan, now I know what I wanted to show. If you go here and you go to SUBTACTIC, and you put, instead of assigning second striker to this position, you assign winger, because, for example, you wanted to use another player like Garcia. You see, if you had Garcia as a substitute of Safi Salih, you wouldn't be able to do the switch, because Safi needs to switch to second striker, and Garcia won't be able to switch to second striker because he only can be a winger. So that's very important, because when you build your SUBTACTIC, you need to add these game styles to every position after positioning the player. For example, I'm gonna give you another example. This was a more difficult one, because I didn't have many players with these capabilities. In here, I'm using a very strange false midfielder in the form of Szoboszlai. Why I'm using Szoboszlai? Because he can, well, he has many positions again, and he can also be CMF, which is his original position, the original position of the card. Now, when I go to SUBTACTIC, I showed you this before, Zielinski switches to the CMF position, not AMF, because during this strategy, I like to have one CMF, one AMF. CMF is going to be helping a little bit more with defense. AMF is going to be thinking only about attacking. But if I were to have AMF here, I think this guy, well, but this guy can be AMF. Okay, wait. No, this guy, he cannot be CMF. So I use Zielinski here because he can do that. But this guy cannot be CMF. So if I try to, if I want Zielinski to be the AMF, and I always want to have one CMF and one AMF, I won't be able to do this switch, because like this, he's okay, but Percy Tau won't be okay. So you need to, you know, I mean, I think this is one of the things I really like. You need to think a little bit, you need to pick the players properly, and it also forces you to pick different players, because with all my best players, I won't be able to build this type of SUBTACTIC. And of course, you won't be able to build a SUBTACTIC properly if you have your starting team with the best players who are not able to occupy the positions and don't have the proper numbers. So so this guy is gonna be AMF during the switch. This is the SUBTACTIC, remember, and this guy is gonna be CMF. So when you exit this thing, they're gonna be fine. And Soboslai also has the CMF. I wanted to, for example, Son cannot be CMF, so I had to switch him. Some of my other very good players cannot do that, like Okafor cannot do that. And, well, some substitute, Bini cannot do that. So you start losing options. This guy is crazy. He can do everything. I can't use this guy that much because of his physical contact, but this guy can do everything. But he has no fighting spirit, so yeah, that's a problem. All right, so, and this guy cannot do that also. So, okay, I gave you the reasons to use the SUBTACTIC. Now I explain the switches and why you should try to switch, give a big change of position to the players so they can trick the defenders. And those are the reasons for the SUBTACTIC and how to use it. I'm switching, you can switch SUBTACTIC to the same team play style. Instead of out wide, you keep possession game. And one thing, I remember a very important thing. In order to do the game style switch, you need to have a manager with these options. 288 game styles. De La Fuente has possession game, out wide. That's why I'm using this thing. Many players think quick counter is the best game style. So Xabi Alonso will be much better than De La Fuente. But I think De La Fuente is the perfect trainer for me, and out wide it might confuse some players when I switch because nobody uses that. So I have like a blind faith. But there is no real reason to do that. Probably it's better to have possession game switch to quick counter. And it definitely will be better to have possession game switching to long ball counter. But I think we don't have that kind of trainer yet. There is no coach with those options. Deschamps had I can't remember if Deschamps had double. No, he didn't have double 88. No, he was only long ball counter. Double booster coaches don't have double game style 88. And these 500 coins, these two guys, they are my best two options because they both have a possession game. So yeah, remember that. But you don't need to change the game style. You can use possession game and during SUBTACTIC again, possession game, just in case. So that's the SUBTACTIC. I wasted 33 minutes. Now, we're gonna start talking about abilities for every position, but probably I won't be able to finish that during this video. Maybe yes, I don't know. Let's jump straight to the goalkeeping abilities. I already talked about this thing during the first video, but now it's going to be all about abilities. And if someone didn't watch that video and wants to that person wants only to see this one or to watch this one, it's gonna come in handy to have everything in just one video. So goalkeepers. Not talking about the numbers, only abilities. So, abilities. A goalkeeper with low punt, only low punt, is better than a goalkeeper with everything else. So that's the first thing. Now, if you have the low punt, or if you have a very good goalkeeper, then you need, I mean, if you have a very good keeper and no low punt, then you should add the skill. Adding skills, it's kind of complicated, but if you want to see a video on how to do the passing of skills, the switch of skills to one player, from one player to the other, I think I have another videos. I have some other videos, and there are many very good tutorials on how to do that, even saving lots of GPs by doing a very complicated and time-consuming switch. It's well, okay. If you want a good explanation on that from me, I can do it, but not during this set of videos. Okay, so I'm going to show you a keeper that's getting all the abilities. Where is this guy? Oh, here. So Courtois. Courtois has no low punt. So we have high kick punt, long throws, and I want my goalkeepers to have outside curler, one touch pass, and if you can, low lofted pass, and fighting spirit. Those are the 4 abilities I want. Now, if I have to choose between low lofted pass and penalty stopper, whatever the name is, I still prefer low lofted pass. The problem with Courtois is that he has not that many abilities, so I can add the 4 abilities I want plus the low punt, because I still can't use Courtois because I don't have the low punt, which is the most important ability, but I can't get it. I'm trying and I'm trying, but I cannot get it. For example, where is this other guy? It's Oblak. He should be around here. Ah, there you are. Oblak has 4 abilities. He has the high punt, the long throws, the penalty saver. Oh, penalty saver was the ability. The skill ability. I keep calling it ability, but it's skill. Player skills. So he has the penalty saver and the captaincy. He is very good when it comes to skills. So I added the weighted pass. I should have added something else, but this guy has well, he has penalty saver and captaincy, so I'm still lacking some of the things I wanted. But I'm going to replace low lofted pass by weighted pass. So I want one touch pass, fighting spirit, and low punt. So those are the abilities you're gonna be desiring for your goalkeepers. Mainly and only maybe low punt and fighting spirit. With those 2, you already have a good keeper. But if you want to add the passing abilities, I think it's a very good idea. Outside curler especially saved my life a lot of times, because it makes the player pass the ball faster, because he doesn't need to use his body, like place his body in a proper position to pass, because he can do it from the position he's in, with the outside or the inside of the foot, depending on the need. That's why outside curler is such a good skill, and I use it in every player, from the goalkeeper and the defense to the forwards. So yeah, remember that. Those are the the main abilities for goalkeepers. So I think I have an example. For example, I have an example. But I have an example around here. Let's see this guy. No, this guy has more things, but there is like a Japanese goalkeeper. Where is the, here? No, not here, here. Yeah, you see? This guy, only with low punt, totally fine. I definitely will use this guy in a Japanese event. No problem. But without the low punt, you get Courtois. monster Courtois, but he's still out until he gets the low punt. Now, we're going to the center backs. The center backs have a simple rule. You have 8 mandatory abilities. 8. You have to have heading, interception, blocker, aerial superiority, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, fighting spirit, and man marking. Yeah. So this guy has the 8 defending abilities. Of course, he's a monster. So after you have all 8 abilities, I recommend going full with the passing abilities. This guy has low lofted pass, so I added weighted pass, pinpoint crossing, and outside curler. You need the 3 more important abilities with this type of player, with everything important already on, are outside curler, first one, weighted pass, low lofted pass, and the most important 2 abilities are outside curler and one touch pass. I don't have the damn one touch pass in almost no defender. It's very difficult to obtain. I mean, I'm fighting to get that thing, but every ability turns into shit. So I'm gonna show you. This guy had he was lacking sliding tackle and fighting spirit. So once you add the sliding tackle and the fighting spirit, then you can go for the passing abilities. I'm not gonna be able to give him all the passing abilities, but he had weighted pass. So low lofted pass, outside curler, and one touch pass. So one touch pass, outside curler, low lofted pass, weighted pass. It's fine. Adams is too good, so he's going to be able to have also through passing and pinpoint crossing. The same happens, I think, with Vardiol, because Vardiol has weighted pass and pinpoint crossing, and he has heading, man marking, interception, blocker. Okay, he's lacking only sliding tackle, so I added the sliding tackle, but he has 2 passing abilities. So again, through passing, low lofted pass, and I'm lacking outside curler. I'm lacking the 2 important ones, outside curler and one time what's the name of that thing? One touch pass. I'm lacking the one touch pass. Same happens here. He has low lofted pass, so I added, he was missing blocker, only blocker. He was and acrobatic clearance. He was useless without the blocker, so I added those 2 abilities, and then outside curler, weighted pass because he has the low lofted pass, and I'm missing the one touch pass. So those are the abilities for the center backs. 8 defending abilities and lots of passing. Something alike happens with these guys, but these guys need I'm going to show you the perfect one. This is the perfect one because this guy is also ambidextrous, like we have been hearing for the past hour and a half. So he comes with all 8 abilities: heading, man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, captaincy, fighting spirit. He also has captaincy. He's missing he doesn't have the all 8. He's missing aerial superiority. Now, not always you're gonna be able or in the need of adding aerial superiority. This guy needs the thing, and with aerial superiority you have a complete 8 abilities fullback, which is strange. It's kind of difficult to have all 8 in a fullback. So he was missing the passes. I want these guys defending, so I don't need them to be good at scoring. I want them crossing the ball like a surgeon, with a scalpel. So he has one touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, and low lofted pass. Through passing maybe wasn't necessary. Maybe it would have been better to have a weighted pass and not through passing, but he's super fine. With all those abilities, you're gonna have the perfect fullback. Now, what happens when you have a situation like this? A physically monster player that's an offensive fullback, and as an offensive fullback, he is going to be missing defending abilities. So you have the double touch, the flip flop, the chop turn, cut behind and turn, shit, dipping shot, shit, I want this guy defending. He has the acrobatic thing, okay, bullshit. Heel trick is kind of okay, but heel trick is like through passing. I don't really need that thing with this guy. He has the pinpoint crossing, he has the acrobatic clearance, and he has the fighting spirit. So he has 3. You have to think a little bit in this case, because if you add all 5 missing ability, no, he has only 2. He has only 2, and there is one ability that cannot be missing from a fullback, and that's pinpoint crossing. So pinpoint crossing, I count it as one of the main abilities for fullbacks. So you have 2. You have to add 6 abilities to have a complete defender. You won't be able to do that. You can only add 5. Let me check the time. Yeah, we still have like 15 minutes. So you will have to choose which abilities I think cannot be missing from a guy ordered to defend. Those are fighting spirit, man marking, interception, and blocker. Now, he is tall and he jumps 90. I think I could have spared aerial superiority, but it happens that with Davis, aerial superiority turns him into something that only loses 5% of all the aerial fights. That means 95, 92, 90% of the time I win aerial balls with this guy, because he's always facing speedy guys, short, or other fullbacks like Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos can do shit in the air. So in the end, aerial superiority was kind of a blessing for me. So yeah, but if I wouldn't have used aerial superiority, then it would have been man marking, interception, blocker, one touch pass, and pinpoint crossing must be on the fullback. So one touch pass and probably low lofted pass or weighted pass, one of those two, but more passing. So those are the abilities you desire on a fullback. Belletti is another example, very good numbers. He has lots of defending abilities. This guy is very, very good. But he also had that stupid scissor feint, chop turn, cut behind turn, motherfucker. He has the soul control, which is good. And he has the through passing, so that's also kind of cool. He has the pinpoint crossing, that's really important, and the man marking interception, blocker, and fighting spirit. He has everything that is important. So I was able to go for the passes. One touch pass, weighted pass, outside curler, low lofted pass, and aerial superiority. I wanted to replicate a little bit Davis and Costa Curta, so yeah, I went again for aerial superiority. I forgot about something. Outside curler, I told you, but I'm gonna keep saying it with every position because you hear it, but maybe you thought, yeah, well, maybe not in every player. No, in every player, because it makes passing faster, a lot faster. It's gonna save you a lot of games. It's gonna save you lots of games. So why Costa Curta doesn't have outside curler? Well, because he is ambidextrous. You see, again, these are the kind of tip I wanna try to stick in your brain. You know, like what is that word? Oh my God, it's I can't remember. When you make a person just repeat an action to just remember it with like a reflex. Okay, so this is ambidextrous, but conditioning. That's oh my God, that's the word, conditioning. Why I'm not using outside curler on this guy? Well, he's too good, and I had to make a decision, and I want him properly defending. So I take the risk on this guy missing a few passes because I cannot go without one touch pass, and I cannot go without man marking, interception, and blocker. Which brings us to the point of aerial superiority. It's a little bit of overkill. Probably the best Davis would have been outside curler instead of aerial superiority. So remember that too. Remember that. Okay, so that's all for fullbacks. Now we're going to talk about the DMF. And I think this is going to be, maybe I'm going to be able to do DMF and AMF, but the rest is going to be for the next video. DMF. DMF is, in my case, and I think this is the best kind of option for like starting players and players trying to improve, because it's going to give you like a surprise factor, and it's going to give you more versatility. It's going to give you stuff that you need when you cannot reach the goal. So they're going to be players like closer to a center back, but they need to have passing skills and speed, lots of stamina. Now, when it comes to abilities, I want these guys to have shooting capability. I don't need the one-time shot, because I'm not supposed to give them the ball to kick in just 1 second. They often get the ball from one of the sides, and if you are good at passing, you're going to be able to give them a little time. During that little time, you're going to be able to kick from afar, especially with the special cheat shot, the one that uses soul control. So, as a general rule, I want this guy with man marking, interception, blocker, fighting spirit, and aerial superiority. I decided that aerial superiority on Davis was a mistake, because if I want to change his training, or well, I don't know, something might happen and aerial superiority won't be good. Either way, he might not be able to make very good use of it, because he's just 168. He wins at least 70% of the jumpings, but I think he does that without the need of aerial superiority. So I left that ability out in order to have long range curler and long range shooting. And if I have to choose, I prefer long range shooting. One touch pass always, through passing always on a DMF, and outside curler because that goes everywhere. Now, Davids, of course, has the advantage of being too good. So he has man marking, track back is very important. Having track back on a DMF is crazy good. I mean, not just good, crazy good. So he has track back, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, and fighting spirit. I don't use that much sliding tackle, so I always prefer to have acrobatic clearance if I have to pick one of those. And a lot of players prefer to have sliding tackle on every DMF and every fullback. I think standard players like me should try not to slide that much, because you end up with red cards all the time, or you end up misusing the sliding tackle and you're gonna be fucked, because you're gonna be, you know, just on the floor and without chances of defending, or at least structuring the, like giving form to a real defense, because you're gonna have a huge hole. So remember that. And he has knuckle shot and soul control. This guy is so crazy, so crazy. Yeah, so he's very special. But my other DMF, and I'm gonna finish with this. I'm gonna save the entire forward positions for the next video. I'm gonna show you my other DMF. He also is not using aerial superiority because I had no space, but he's not using aerial superiority for a very different reason. The reason is, or the reason being, he has 99 jumping. So I pushed the jumping to 99 in order to save a slot in the skill section. And so he has the long range shooting and the outside curler. He was a center back, so he has the man marking, interception, blocker, acrobatic clearance, and a captaincy and fighting spirit. He doesn't have the sliding tackle, which I don't care about. He has low lofted pass, which is very good, and you can feel it on Beckenbauer. That low lofted pass is key. And I added the soul control, the long range curler, the one touch pass, through passing, and pinpoint crossing. In my opinion, pinpoint crossing wasn't necessary, and it was better to give him aerial superiority, or maybe weighted pass. But he has the one touch pass, the through passing, the soul control. So yeah, he has everything. Blocker, interception. Those are the abilities you need for these guys. With all of these, or with all of those, you're gonna be able to, if they don't get close to you, because they think Beckenbauer is not going to score, and they retreat trying to block the pass, then you can cheat shot them with, even with very good curl, because he has 72 finishing and 78 curl. So with 92 kicking power, he's gonna be able to send a very good curvy shot from afar, from a very long distance. So yeah, those are the abilities I recommend for DMFs. I guess some players are going to tell you that you should use double touch, of course sliding tackle, but maybe double touch, maybe heel trick. But they're gonna start confusing everybody, because those are, I mean, those abilities, in my opinion, are more for people with more knowledge when it comes to pressing forward and players escaping their positions. With these abilities, you're gonna be able to keep your position and also give strength to the team by being able to shoot from afar. Okay, so that's that for the abilities for DMFs. And I'm gonna be cutting the video because I already have just 1 minute left. And okay, I think I'm gonna keep doing this tomorrow because it's really late here. And well, if you have something to say, opinions, whatever, send them to the message section. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we're gonna keep going with abilities, and we're gonna start with positions, with numbers, stats for every position, and examples for very good players that we can get now, or that we, or like a lot of people have, for every position. So I'm gonna give you 2-3 examples. So that's it, and I see you in the next video, which will be part 3. Bye bye.